playing absolutely horribly, but he's not playing all that great right now. He's able to defend, and he's trying to do a turtle zerg. Look at this. Are you serious? I mean, how long has that factory been sitting up there? Does he not see that? Does he not suspect that maybe possibly there is something that is... I mean, does he think there's drop ships maybe that are bringing these vultures in? Look how many kills. I mean, he's probably got 12 drones in the course of maybe 10 drones.
And look at that Hydra does
right
not know
past
where
it.
it is.
Oh
yeah,
my
I do
God.
have to agree that
Look,
it's poor
he
play
doesn't
by
see it.
by.hero, but it's really also just good play by Leta. I mean, at this point, by.hero is gotta just be thinking like, oh my gosh, you know, and at that point, your mind is already, you know, you're in a state of confusion. He's now building Evo chamber. So I don't know, I guess just to get upgrades. It looks like he is getting a good scout with these lings, but it doesn't really matter. He's just going to see that he's kind of behind in economy, and that science vessels are going to be on the way pretty
vessels.
soon.
Who knew about that?
And even, you know, even if by.hero knew where that factory was, he just doesn't have very many units because his economy's been just in tatters this whole time. So he just doesn't really have the units to spare to go look around for that factory, I suppose. But I still feel that he should have. And now, Leta coming in from the other side. Wow, Leta just firmly in control of this game.
That Hydralisk still has no idea. Oh, great drop by Leta here on the main. He's going to take out a lot of the drones here. In fact, he could take out almost all the drones. He's going to take out the Spire, which is going to be pretty big. Even though by.hero isn't doing necessarily doing air a whole lot, that is going to take down the Scourge so that he can't lose his science vessels very easily. And look at this, a great scan. Going to take out the Lurker. Probably going to focus down the Spire. Spire is going to go down. Hydralisks and Lurkers are going to clean that up, but fantastic job by Leta setting back by.hero. by.hero has been behind this entire game. Just a great job. Now, I think Leta at this point has his expansion, right? He has firmly his expansion as his 2 base. Meanwhile, by.hero, look at that. The factory is still not... Please just find the factory. I just want to see the factory go down. Thank God. Thank God.
Finally, the factory is finally going to go down.
I would be cheering if I was in the crowd right now.
Looking pissed. The pupil of July Zerg, but not playing like July right now.
I don't even know how you knew that. That was fantastic.
Well, by.hero's on STX Seoul.
Oh, that's right.
And
that's right.
so they do have a lot of good Zerg players, including by.hero and including OSL, who is the 3-time, or including July, who is the 3-time OSL winner, one of the few people that has a golden mouse. Yep. So you would think that by.hero would have the training.
I have one too, but
honestly, Leta is a sneaky player, and I don't think anybody, including July, could really predict that factory in the back of his base. Although I think July would have reacted better than by.hero.
Right.
So yeah, maybe we are seeing by.hero's current state of play, and ooh. Scourge going up there, but not spotting the dropship. Maybe just sensing it up there.
This is a game of barely not scouting things. That's pretty much what's going on. by.hero is almost doing the right thing, and then he's not getting it. And it's tough because you're right. by.hero's not a bad player. He's a very good player. And we're going to see a drop here. Now, the drop could easily take out all these Zerglings. If the dropship goes down, which it's going to after obviously taking its contents out there, once again, by.hero not scouting that. The Marines are going to go right down. Here we go. They're going to be able to take out these Zerglings. Zerglings aren't as big of a threat. Oh, there we go. So by.hero doing something good. Finally scourging scourging, however you say it, the dropship. Leta could focus fire and take out the extractor here, which means that by.hero is only going to have 2. Oh my gosh. I'll be totally honest. I don't know what by.hero can do to get back from this at this point. Those 3 Sunkens aren't a lot once Leta gets the tanks out, if he does get tanks out. And, I mean, he could just Medic Marine through and blast through that. But he is going to start taking out the Lurkers. He has the, oh, God, I can't remember, Science Vessel. I'm totally losing it here. Radiate, yes.
Well, you know, I think what we're seeing here is, what's really showing is lack of experience by.hero. You know, like you said, the fact that he's getting close to scouting things, but not
eraser time.
And yeah, this almost is a little humiliation by Leta, but Leta is so far ahead. What I was just going to say is that, you know, by.hero just doesn't have the experience. He has only played, let's see, his overall record is 27-27. Now he has Hydras out, I guess to counter the science vessels, but they're going to get destroyed by these 2 Marines because Hydras suck against Medic Marine. And yeah, I don't know what the plan was with those Hydras, considering Leta's been pretty much going Medic Marine this whole time, other than a couple Vultures. I guess he just really hates and was tired of the Vultures. But anyways, going on a huge tangent here, by.hero, yeah, not a lot of experience. You know, he's only played 50 so games Kespa games. So even though he showed a great showing in the last OSL, I think it's just showing his inexperience here. I do think that by.hero is a good player. When I watched his games, I mean, he has one of the highest APMs in the game. I think they showed he's had
when you saw him, it was
I think he's had close to 400 APM.
Right.
So he is a super fast player and has really good micro in my opinion, but unfortunately we just weren't even able to see any of that this game because Leta just shut him down before he even got the chance to do that.
Well, and maybe the speed is one of the reasons why he was making mistakes and not scouting areas, because if you're switching back and forth between screens so fast, just physically there's things your mind will miss. Now we are seeing another starport, I believe. I don't know if we're gonna see. Well, to be honest, anything that Leta's doing at this point is pretty much a finishing move. I mean, I don't see any way we can recover from this. Obviously, he's putting forth, by.hero's putting forth a pretty strong defense at trying. We did see the factory going up earlier with the machine shot, meaning that tanks will be out. Once the tanks come out, the game is pretty much over. I think even if by.hero gets to filers out, I don't see that even resolving this, because once the tanks are out, front door breaks, then it's pretty much going to be over as far as by.hero goes. Leta is still at 2 base. It looks like he might be picking up the mineral on the right side. I think that's the right thing to do. It's the good timing to pick up a second expansion. He's already firmly in the lead. Why not? And a lot of Hydralisks. It's interesting that we're not seeing Lings here. Look at the Hydralisk just melting against Medic Marine. I don't really understand. I mean, that was a pretty good. He was able to get a few Marines there. But by.hero, I mean, why not go Lurker Ling, which is the most common against Medic Marine? Yeah, he's just getting melted here. His army. I would not be surprised if we almost see a GG here by.hero coming up quickly.
Well, certainly it's another situation. Oh, +2 attack for those Medic Marines.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why they're smelting things. Looks like he has a little tank on the side there. Yeah, Hydras are pretty sucky against Medic Marine, but we've seen it done before. Well, usually not really so much in this matchup, but Luxury's done things like that, and aggressive two base builds, where you go Hydra Lurker and things like that. Defense Major's going on that Medic Marine, or that Marine there.
Didn't last very long,
but yeah, at this point, by.hero is just clawing in the dark, trying to find the strength to somehow come back, but it's not going to happen. And the Eraser is going to signal GG from by.hero. Wow, that was a big sweep by Leta. Probably easiest game he's played in a while.
It was kind of a sad last game. I mean, we saw some pretty good games here. Obviously, the game before this, Watson vs. Zero, was fantastic. Fantasy vs. Backhoe was fantastic. But to be honest, all the games here were fairly, other than maybe Fantasy vs. Backhoe, which I think went back and forth a little bit, all these games were fairly one-sided. So this is interesting to see how this will play into the next set, which is actually going to be played in about 3-4 days in Korea. So obviously we'll do our best to get it to you, or as a lot of the other casters, we'll be doing these games as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Leta, as expected, did win. by.hero, I think, didn't look as good as he normally is. So if you're just tuning in and you're just seeing by.hero for the first time, I wouldn't take that as his overall play. by.hero is normally a fairly good player. It's not somebody where I'm just going to say, oh, he sucks, because I saw this game where he sucked. He was actually kind of on the rise too. So anyways, I felt like by.hero could have played potentially better. I think a lot of this was luck in not seeing what was going on when he could have. And Leta obviously just used his skill and was able to bring it on top.
Well, that's going to be the end of day 2 from the OSL. That guy happy to get a hat from Leta.
Handed directly to him.
Yes.
Not just tossed off nonchalantly.
Look at that fist pump. Yeah.
Dude, he's not covering his face. He's wearing his hat.
So day 2, we now have every player from the groups having played one game. So every player is either 1-0 or 0-1 at this point. And as we mentioned earlier about that elimination, basically the player with the most wins will make it out, the top 2 players. So if you're 3-0 or 2-1, you have a good chance. If you're 1-2 or 0-3, you're going to get knocked out.
Yep.
So, maybe some of these players can force, another round robin. If they're all 2-1 or something like that, they can force, them to replay each other. But otherwise, all the players going either 1-0 or 0-1. So we'll have to see what happens in day 3.
Yep, and Leta is going to be going up against Kanata, which I think is going to be a fantastic game as far as Group D goes. Terran versus Terran will probably be a long game. I'm hoping to see some epic battle cruiserness. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, leave your comments, and, we love help. And we weren't really sponsored by Gunplayer, by the way. We just happen to be using Gunplayer. So thanks for listening, and
See you guys in the next set.